Hello Divi Nation and welcome. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to set up and install a free blog post template for Divi's hosting company layout pack. This is the final result we're aiming to achieve. So without wasting a lot of time, let's dive in and let's get started. All right, so the first thing you need to do is to head over to the blog post, and this is the actual blog post. I'll leave a link to that in the video description below, and this is where you download the layout pack. All right, so what you do when you get here is you just scroll down a little bit until you get to this stage here, and then click on get it for free today. So when you click that, you need to opt in. So I'm going to add my email address here, and the good thing is you don't have to go and verify it if you've already set it up the first time. So now I can click on download. And this now is going to give me this button which allows me to download the files. Next, I'm going to click here on download the files. And as you can see, they've downloaded here on my bottom left screen. The next stage now is to unzip this folder. So I prefer doing it straight away because it just gives me that freedom to just drag and drop it whenever I need. And I don't have to go through the process of unzipping it later on when I start designing my page. All right, so now I'm going to go to show in Finder. And I'm just going to show you now what it is in my Finder here. So this is the file. I'm going to double click on it now. And this is going to unzip it. And now we have this .json file. Now we are going to come back to this in a moment. But for now, we need to go to our website. So over here now, this is my WordPress website. I'm in the admin dashboard. So what I'm going to do next is to scroll all the way down here to Divi. Just want to hover over here, or you can just click here and this will now give you all the other options. So really the option we need here is theme builder. So I'm going to click here on theme builder, and now this is going to bring us into this interface. What we need to do next is to click here on portability. So if I click here, we get this portability pop-up, and we have two options. We either can export or import. So in this case, we need to import. So I'm going to click here on import and make sure you have these two check marks on. Now remember that file that we downloaded, and here it is. So what I'm going to do now is to just drag it over here. Now make sure you're on the right tab, because if you're not on the import tab, it's a problem. What I've also noticed is people are trying to upload the zipped file. If you try and upload the zipped file, it doesn't work. So make sure you do this correctly. Now that I've added it here, I'm going to now click on import theme builder templates. In fact, before I do that, I also want to talk about how else you can add this file. So instead of dragging it and dropping it over here, you can also click here and navigate to where you've unzipped that file on your computer. Next, I'm going to click import theme builder. Now this is importing the design itself. So we are now going to take a look after everything has been imported. In fact, it has been now. I am going to now hit save changes. And I'm going to go now to my post, and I'm going to open this in a new tab. Right. So I have, basic posts here that I've created. And of course, you want to make sure you have your posts also created in order for you to see the changes this template is giving us. So I'm going to open this in a new tab, and now you can see this design. Beautiful. And it has taken all the elements of my website that I need for this to look this way. So for example, here I've added a featured image, and I also have a title here, and this is beautiful. Now, let's say you have your own personal website and it has its own colors and fonts. Where do we go and make changes to this template? Because ideally you don't want to use it out of the box as it is right now. Okay, so let me show you now where you can go and customize your template. So I'm going to come back over here to my theme builder, and then I'm going to click on custom body. So I'm going to click on this pencil icon here. This is now going to take us into our builder, and this is just the normal Divi builder that we're used to every day. All right, so once this loads up, it's now going to show us the complete design. So you can start off by taking a look and seeing where you can make changes. So I'm going to come over here, let's say to my section settings, click on background. Now here is where our background is. So we have a shape here in the form of this image. And then over here, we have this gradient. So let's say you want to change this gradient to the colors that match your branding. Now take a look very, very closely at my screen here as I make the changes. So let's say you want to change this dark color here, which is around here. You can just click on here and change it just like that. So as you can see, just by one click, I have gone in and changed that color. But you know what? I'm going to leave that color as it is. I don't want to change it, but now you know where to change it. If you want to change this one here, it's simple. All you have to do is to come over here and change it. So as you can see, it's very, very easy to customize this. All right, so that's it with the background. And if you don't like this shape, you can completely delete it and you will just have a solid gradient background. All right, so I'm going to close out of here. Next, we're going to come over here now to this part. So this is where we have this image. Now this image is unique because this is a dynamic image and this is the featured image. So whatever featured image that you add on your blog post is what will show here. It's dynamic. Next, we are going to take a look here at the rounded corners. So let's say you want to get rid of the rounded corners. All you have to do is to come over here to design, border, and this is where you can remove the corners altogether. So you can adjust the size. Maybe if this is a bit too much for you, you can go with 8 pixels, for example. And once you're happy with that, you can just save. So you don't really have to add an image here. That's very important. Next, we're going to take a look here at the title. So I'm going to click here on this gear icon to go into my module settings. And as you can see here, this is also dynamic text. So this will pull whatever blog title you have on your website. So this is automatically generated. Okay. So what I want to do now is to change the font. So I'm going to go in fact, I'm going to click this pencil icon or this paintbrush icon, and it's going to take us straight to our heading font. So this is where now you can change it to whatever it is. Now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to choose Poppins. There we go. So that's my font. So you can go ahead now and make it bold. You can change the size if you want to, but this is how you customize it. It's very, very easy to customize. Okay, so let's save this so you can see the differences once I switch over to that tab, which we have right here. Okay, so I'm just going to make a few changes and then we're going to refresh the page and see the changes. All right, so we've changed our title size and font. Now let's take a look here at this section. So the first thing I want to do is to take a look and see where this border was added. So I'm going to click here on my row settings, click on design, border, and we can see here it's set to 24. So let's say I want to bring it down to about 8, which is similar to my image here on the top. That is where I can change it. And we also have our border color. So let's say you want to change that color. You can just click here and boom, just like that, we've changed the color. You can even play around with the transparency here if you want to, like that. And slowly, you can start customizing this and make it look like your own design with your own branding. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to save. So that is how we can stylize that border around our content. The next step now is to go into this area here where we have our content. So I'm going to click here on module settings to go into our post content settings. So here we can change our titles by clicking here on the paintbrush tool. And again, you can see we have rubric here. So let's say I change it to Poppins. You can see that right away I've changed that. And next I'm going to come over here to medium and maybe I want to make it bold. And you can also change colors here, by the way, if you want to do that. And you can just come over here to the color and make it lighter like that. And you can continue doing that until you're happy with all these headings. So again, I'm going to go in, change this from medium to bold. I'll leave the color as it is. And then I'm just going to continue, change this to Poppins and change this from medium to bold and so on. So what's going to happen now is once I save that, this text here, wherever I have titles, is going to change. And this is the beauty of making changes here on the actual blog post template. Next, let's work on the paragraph text. So I'm going to come over here and choose Poppins. So I want you to really see the difference. So I'm pretty much happy with that now. Let's save. Now moving on, we can also go into this button here and change the colors by coming over here to our module settings. And as you can see, we are able to go into design and change the colors here. So we can go into sizing here. We can play around with the width, but we're going to leave it as it is. Next, we can see here we have this area. So I'm going to click here on module settings to go into my blurb settings. And again, I'm going to change this name title to Poppins, and we're going to make it bold. Okay. And we're also going to change this paragraph text into Poppins, but the color is fine. All right, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to save, and we can also go into our row settings here, click on design, and if we go here to the border, we can also change this to 8. So you can just play around with the slider here until you're happy with the size of the border. Okay, so moving on, we also have this section here, which has this beautiful color. And again, to change it, you can just go over here to our section settings, click on background, and this is our color. Now, you may have noticed that we also have this image, and that's this image that's added here. You can remove it if you want to. And over here, we have the colors. And just like I showed you on the main header area, we can change this by just clicking here on the color, on the gradient, like that. And as you can see quickly, I've gone in and changed that. But of course, we're not going to do that here. So I'm going to save that. Now, this related post, again, is a similar thing. You want to come over here to design and click here on this paintbrush tool and change this to your font so you have consistency. So pretty much this is all you have to do on this blog post. And once you've done that, all the changes will be applied across the whole website on your blogs. Okay. So pretty much that's it. You can also go in here and change the colors. You can also change the fonts, and it's quite straightforward to do because all you have to do is to go into each and every module to make the changes there. So again, here I can come to the design and then choose the specific element I want to make changes to. So here I can go into the comment count text, change this to Poppins. I can even change the color. So let's make it a lighter gray like that. And you can see just like that, we can make a lot of changes. All right. So pretty much that is how you can go in and make changes to this. Now, the most important thing here is to also make sure you save all the changes you've done. Now, before I continue, I also want to show you how to go in here and set your email opt-in. So if I click here on my module settings, now this is our email opt-in settings. It's important that you set it up with your email provider. So what I'm going to do now is to scroll further down here, go to email account, and you can see here by default we have MailChimp, but ideally you want to choose your own. So let's say you use ConvertKit, Emma, or any one of these. This is where you would go in and choose it and then select your list so that when someone signs up here, they are added onto your mailing list. So this is a very, very important step. Make sure you go in and connect your email service provider. All right, so pretty much that's all. This background image here, you can add your own gradients that match your branding. So once you're done, you want to come over here to the bottom and click expand settings. This is where you're going to see this save button. Okay, so you want to make sure you save it. Next, you want to go over here to the top, click on this close, and you also want to do a final save. So if I click here on save all changes and I come over here, when I refresh the page, now you can see we have our fonts here. I've also reduced the rounded corners. And when I go through this, you can see now it has all the changes that I added earlier on when I was showing you how this works. So pretty much this is how you install and customize this layout pack. So there you have it. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and do follow us on our social media platforms. By doing so, you'll be notified every time we release new tutorials. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.